Hey, welcome to WrestleMania Wednesday. I'm your host, Don. I'm just rereading my notes because it's been a while since I watched WrestleMania Wednesday. I took last week off. I felt like I deserved a vacation. It's been a really weird couple weeks. I'm going to do a video about that soon. But, yeah. Welcome back. And thanks to CH, who was the one person who emailed me to say, hey, you missed WrestleMania Wednesday. It's not a popular show.
You're watching So Awkward. This is Freddy Krueger saying, hi!
WrestleMania 15 in Philly, Pennsylvania, opened with the America the Beautiful sung by Boys to Men. Philly icons. They did a pretty great job. It was pretty great. The commentary team was Michael Cole making his WrestleMania debut with Jerry the King Lawler. Okay. They started things off with the Hardcore Championship match. It was a three-way match featuring Al Snow making his WrestleMania debut versus Hardcore Holly versus Billy Gunn, who is the reigning champ. This was fine. It was probably fun. I'm not a huge hardcore wrestling fan. I don't like blood for the most part. Like the Stone Cold Steve Austin Bret Hart match where the blood and then he passed out, like the blood was a part of the story. But if the blood is the entire point of the match, I find it gratuitous and I just don't care. But these three were pretty decent and the match was decent. Hardcore Holly won for whatever that's worth. Next up was a match for the tag titles match. It was D'Lo Brown and Test versus Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett. I wrote down in my notes, they introduced Test as the former bodyguard for Motley Crue. This match was fine. It was okay. What I will say about it was this was Owen Hart's last WrestleMania match because a few months after this, he dies tragically in the ring at a pay-per-view. There was rappelling from the ceiling or something, and there was a problem. The cord broke, and he fell, and he died from his injuries that night. So what I will say is, rest in peace, Owen Hart. One of the all-time greats, one of my all-time favorites. WrestleMania Wednesday will be a lot less fun for not having Owen Hart as a part of it, and that's probably the best tribute I could pay to the man. Thank you, Owen, for all that you did for the business. One of my favorites. Up next is one of the strangest matches in WrestleMania history. It was the Brawl for All finale, I guess. Brawl for All, I wasn't watching wrestling at the time, so I had to look this up. Although I had heard about it. I guess UFC and mixed martial arts was becoming popular at the time, so Brawl for All was a way to legitimize the wrestlers. It was basically real boxing matches between the wrestlers. A lot of careers ended. There were a lot of injuries as a result of the Brawl for All matches, which I think appeared on various episodes of Raw and maybe some pay-per-views. But the winner of it was Bart Gunn, who I think turned out to be a pretty good boxer. So they had the idea that the winner of the Brawl for All, who was the best boxer in WWE, should go on to WrestleMania to fight a real boxer, and they chose Butterbean. This was a bad idea. Butterbean is a legit badass. He's huge. He's a real boxer. Nothing against Bart Gunn, but Butterbean, I think, takes him out in a minute, maybe even less than a minute. It's a massacre. It's a legit fight, too. If you're a fan of boxing, it's worth checking out just to see how good Butterbean's punches are. And he gets him with like a right hook and then maybe an uppercut. And he knocks Bart Gunn out. Sorry, Bart. Just a horrible idea from WWE. I don't watch wrestling to see real fighting. I watch wrestling for entertainment and to see athletes putting on a show. This was a show I mean, Butterbean put on a show, but it was just, it's hard to watch. It was hard to watch.
Oh, there's the right hand, folks. It's over. Goodbye. It's over. Butterbean with a first-round knockout of Bart Gunn.
Then we had a match between Big Show, who made his WrestleMania debut, versus Mankind. And the winner of this match would go on to be the special referee for the main event that night. I'm not sure why I'm supposed to care about that. And then there was some weird deal. It was hard for me to follow the storyline because I wasn't a fan of wrestling at the time, so I didn't really know what was going on. But Vince McMahon came out because I guess he wanted Big Show to be the referee at the main event, so he could use him to have him whatever. So he started like yelling at him and slapping him around, so then Big Show attacked him, and Vince called the police on him, and Big Show was arrested. Or something. I'm sure this paid off the next day on Raw, but this isn't Raw Wednesdays. This is WrestleMania Wednesdays. Then we had the Intercontinental Championship on the line. It was a 4-way match between Road Dogg, Val Venus, Gold Dust, and Ken Shamrock. This one was pretty fun. This was a good match. I like all of these guys, except for maybe Val Venus, who I don't know that much about, but he looked pretty good. He did a pretty good job. Road Dogg retained the title, as well as he should. Then we had Triple H versus Kane. This one was fine. The highlight of the match was when Pete Rose came out dressed as the San Diego Chicken. And he tried to attack Kane, and Kane murdered him again. I don't remember who won the match. I didn't write it down. I don't really remember the match that well. I've never been a huge Triple H fan. Do I have to apologize for that? Then we had the Women's Championship on the line. It was champion Sable versus Tori, who was dressed like a cat. She had like cat makeup on, and she was in a cat suit. Weird. Now, in the previous WrestleMania, or maybe it was the one before that, where Sable made her in-ring debut, I was super impressed with Sable. I thought she was amazing. I thought she was a great performer. She was a great technical wrestler. Her strength was on point. This match sucked. I was not impressed with Sable at all. It opened with her doing a promo in the ring, and it was just embarrassingly bad. Don't give Sable a microphone again. Maybe they won't, I don't know. But this match, this match was a dud. Then we had the European Championship on the line. It was champion Shane McMahon making his WrestleMania debut versus X-Pac. This one was fine. Not great. It was fine. I like Shane McMahon, sort of. I respect his showmanship and his courage, but I don't think he's a great wrestler. X-Pac, he might be a great wrestler, but maybe he's lacking showmanship. Or not. I don't know. This match didn't do anything for me, sorry. Then we had the inevitable Undertaker match. It was a Hell in the Cell match versus the Big Boss Man. It doesn't live up to the potential. It was fine. I love the Undertaker. I really love Big Boss Man, but their styles maybe just meshed poorly. It wasn't bad. Like, it was fine. It was watchable. It was even entertaining. But at this point, I expect more from the Undertaker, especially in the Hell in the Cell, which should be epic. This wasn't epic. If this had been just a regular match, it probably would have been really good. But when they put it in the Cell, I guess it's notable for the finish was really weird. The Brood came down. They dropped down from the ceiling. The Brood, of course, are Edge, Christian, and Gangrel or something like that. I think their gimmick was they were vampires or something. And they came down with a noose, and they hung the Big Boss Man. And then they faded to black, so I guess the Big Boss Man's dead. I think they murdered the Big Boss Man in the ring. Very strange. It's not notable because of that. It's notable because, I guess, Edge and Christian made their WrestleMania debut. Unfortunately. Not because I love Edge and Christian, but that's that's not the best way to make your debut at WrestleMania. They will go on to bigger and better things at WrestleMania Wednesday, I promise you. And then we have the main event, which is awesome. And it makes this whole kind of mediocre WrestleMania worth watching. It's Stone Cold Steve Austin versus the champion, The Rock. Just two of my all-time favorites. Two of the all-time greats. One of the greatest rivalries, if not the greatest rivalry in the history of the business. Two great wrestlers, great rivalry, amazing chemistry together, great match. And great commentary because I like Michael Cole, he's fine, but he stepped down and they introduced JR, Jim Ross. He came out to do commentary for the final. I believe he was suffering from Bell's palsy at that time, so he took time off from work. So they brought him back to do commentary on the main event, and he would have been a great match either way, but Jim Ross always takes things to the next level with his commentary. Stone Cold prevails and regains the championship. His second time winning the championship in the main event at WrestleMania. This was the best WrestleMania main event since WrestleMania 3, maybe? It was similar to the Bret Hart Stone Cold match in that it was just a brawl. The action never stopped, it never relented, it never let up. It was exciting. They told a great story. They're both amazing athletes, pretty decent, but not the best technical wrestlers. Anyway, it was an awesome match. And it was a great way to close an average WrestleMania otherwise. Great main event. Final match by Owen Hart, one of my all-time favorites. And a pretty good rendition of America the Beautiful by Boyz II Men. I give this one a thumbs up. It was pretty good, if not great. Anyway, it's good to be back here at WrestleMania Wednesday. I won't take a week off again. And if I do, I'll take the week off before I watch the WrestleMania because I kind of forgot. About it. So I apologize for that, I guess. Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you next Wednesday, I promise. Because I did watch WrestleMania 16, and there's some stuff to talk about with that one. There's a heat wave in Minneapolis. It's like 100 degrees in my apartment. Because when I film these, I have to turn off my air conditioner and my fans, which I keep blasting on my face. So if I seem really greasy and sweaty, that's why. And I'm in my underwear. I chose the framing very specifically. Don't worry.